Aloha, y'all. It is Sunday, the 24th of April. Let's get into it. The sun is at 4 degrees Taurus. The moon is at 17 degrees Aquarius. Mercury is at 23 degrees, 47 minutes Taurus. Venus is at 20 degrees, 44 minutes Pisces. Mars is at 7 degrees Pisces. Jupiter is at 26 degrees Pisces. Saturn is at 23 degrees Aquarius. Uranus is at 14 degrees Taurus. Neptune is at 24 degrees Pisces. Pluto is at 28 degrees Capricorn. And the North Node is at 22 degrees Taurus in retrograde. It is a Sahasrara chakra, the crown chakra. This is very much like a halo on your head, right at the top of your head, the crown of your skull. Basically, it's corresponding essentially to the pineal gland. Keywords are beauty, creativity, and inspiration. Positive aspects are a reverence for all life, self-sacrificing in the service of others, idealism, and ability to see the appropriate route for the benefit of the higher self. Negative aspects are no concern for others, feelings of superiority, lack of contact with reality. The mantra is Om, O-M, Om, in the key of B if you're going to do it. Spiritual activities are prayer, meditation, and reflection. Essential oils are violet, lavender, lotus. I might sneeze. Excuse me. Violet. Come in groups. Essential oils, violet, lavender, and lotus. Plant is lotus, the lotus flower. Metal is platinum, element is the cosmos, crystals are amethyst and alexandrite, and the soul lesson is to be at one with the source. And as you can see, there's a bunch of little Om symbols kind of cropping up, making the whole symbol. So let's go ahead and get some cards and see what the day holds for us all. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself wherever you are viewing from. We've got the Starman, the Alchemist. It's actually the namesake of the deck, the Starman Tarot, right? But we've got the Starman. There is no actual reverse for this in this deck, which is interesting, I think. It's in the Major Arcana. It's the Magician card typically, right? But in this card deck, it's called the Alchemist or the Starman. Manifesting your reality. Ideas are communicated and brought into the physical world with ease. You have everything you need to create the world you desire. Reconfigure yourself in liberating and expressive and complex ways. So very Moon and Aquarius, right? You have everything you need to do to channel emotionally the transmutation and mutations of the world that you want. North Node and Taurus. Starman, I will blow your mind. The Starman, right? That's the energy here. The Starman is an attractor field through which we can observe the self we believe to be true. We are being invited to see the inherent nature of the human condition. Oh, there's a very loud truck coming. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm just going to give it a second. This is a beautiful card, I'll just say. It's actually a tractor pulling two trailers. Who knows what they're going to fill up on. So the Starman is an attractor field. An attractor, tractor, there you go. The Starman is an attractor field through which we can observe the self we believe to be true. We are being invited to see the inherent nature of the human condition and look at what has been fashioned by culture through the ages, the belief and value systems we simply have adopted. His glorious presence awakens us to see another realm entirely, and in that resonance, seemingly irrefutable facts are seen as fictions. We see the Starman bringing the seed of transformation to the world, carrying the weapon that compels us to self-destruct in one hand, and the golden key that unlocks our supreme potential in the other hand, right? Our supreme potential, Sahasrara chakra. It's many seeds creating a whole flowering. The luminous one descended to earth with his arms outstretched, the alien messiah. A vision of ecstatic color, light, and fire, molecular worlds, streaming tendrils of life-giving substance. traveling through space, surrendered in time, ripples in the exosphere. His presence shimmering with ancient symmetries, waiting for the moment to reveal his power, because he knows it will blow our minds. A palpable sense of creative potency hangs in the air, a hidden potential demanding to be realized. Very much North Node in Taurus, a hidden potential demanding to be realized. The dissolving of the Starman's from South Node in Scorpio to North Node. South Node, in Scorpio to North Node in Taurus. The dissolving of the Starman's solid form into the golden pool of liquid light. The sheer willingness to melt himself down to be reborn as something fresh, something new, but contains all the elements woven from the past is a powerful metaphor. It's alchemical, right? We too can place the personality and the various jaded facets of ourselves into the flame of the creative fire to be reconfigured in even more liberating and expressive and complex ways. We must throw ourselves into the white-hot flames, and despite this heat and sheer intensity, know that we can never disappear fully. To boldly confront the fear of destroying that which we cherish, South Node of Scorpio, confront those fears of, loss, and accept death as part of reality, I guess. To be born again, North Node in Taurus. Something complete and comfortable with great intrinsic value, and yet to be courageous and break it down anyway. To trust the Starman as he propels us towards the possibility of discovering what we didn't know that we didn't know. Revealing the raw components of life with all of the thoughts, frailties, passions, and anxieties which can now be transformed and recombined into something powerful, impactful, and extraordinary. He knows power does not come from him, but through him, and he wields it with absolute integrity, creating something magical out of nothing. The Starman offers us the elixir, a constant visual theme and quest in my work with David Bowie, how to create images that brought things to the surface to be seen, felt, and ultimately to be healed of its own destruction. We must risk our own destruction, risk our own failure, and embrace what appears to be mistakes. To be a mistake. Bowie seized upon things that would have been viewed as insignificant, and these were often the things that bore the most fruit. He wasn't afraid to pull things apart that already looked finished, to reveal something unexpected and significant. When the Starman appears, it is a signal to see what elements of your life can be reinvented and rethought in order to create and reveal something extraordinary. He is calling you to discover your full creative potential, right? The Starman, or the Alchemist, typically the Magician in the Rider-Waite deck, manifesting your reality. North Node in Taurus. Mercury, Uranus in Taurus. Sun in Taurus. Ideas are communicated and brought into the physical world with ease. Moon in Aquarius. Saturn in Aquarius. You have everything you need to create the world you desire. Venus, Mars in Neptune. Jupiter conjunct Neptune in Pisces. I said Neptune, I meant Pisces. Mars and Venus in Pisces. You have everything you need to create the world you desire, reconfiguring yourself in liberating and expressive and complex ways. There's not a comma there, so I keep on saying and then there's another and that's just grammatically incorrect. So liberating, comma, not there. Expressive, I would put a comma, Oxford comma, and complex ways. So we have a beautiful situation where we're being told that, you are part, one is the all and all is the one, right? Getting part of this larger than life alchemy. We're moving towards eclipse season. That's next week, in a week exactly from yesterday. And we're going to be transforming, like it or not. With the South Node in Scorpio, it is time to let go of a lot of the karma and a lot of the hang-ups emotionally, the attachments, the addictions, the fears that we're all so prone to. With the North Node in Taurus, with the Sun in Taurus, with Mercury in Taurus, as well as Uranus in there in Taurus, we are transforming our world. And we have everything we need. We just need to believe it and make it so. Magic is nothing more, it's beyond science, right, in a sense, but it's not woo-woo as in impractical. It's logical, typically, and we just need to believe, right? Belief is sometimes the magical elixir that causes so much more to happen. So we've got the Ten of Cups as a clarifier. This is pretty hot to trot reading here. Ten of Cups, Leviathan. If you don't know, Ten of Cups is about emotional satiation and fulfillment, like the ultimate. 10 is completion, and cups are water, water signs. So if you're a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces, this is your card suit. But the 10 of Cups is as follows. I experience the joy of loving connection, crafting a legacy, ultimate contentedness, creating long-lasting bonds with those you call family, right? So we have the ability to really feel emotionally solid about the transformations we're making. Not only are we transforming, but it's not some like, oh my gosh, in a way you have no clue, because it was talking about melting down and then, reconstituting, refiguring, remixing, very Moon in Aquarius, kind of re-engineering, Saturn in Aquarius, your reality, Sun in North Node of Taurus, but you have everything you need and your cup is overflowing. So you don't have to be afraid. There's different types of fear, I guess. Sometimes there's an anxiety and an excitement about not knowing what's coming, and that's okay. He doesn't necessarily know where it's going. He's just like, I'm going to create this magic, and I'm going to, bury the seed, and here comes the plant. I don't know what day. I don't know in which, hour the seed is going to pop, or necessarily which way the plant is going to grow, but he knows it's going to happen. He's putting in the energy to make that so. So feel good, feel satiated, feel emotionally with it, and you will be surprised at how bringing that positivity really does change the game. It's very easy to sit there and bite your nails, which I don't do, so I wouldn't suggest doing, but to bite your nails and go, oh my gosh, I don't have power, I don't have magic, I don't have the ability to change my world or change myself. Notice how he's all the elements and he's balanced. It's reminding me of the Pink Floyd song, from Dark Side of the Moon, Breathe. It's like balanced on the biggest wave. The biggest wave, particle wave, kind of quantum reality, Moon and Saturn in Aquarius. How do we hack this reality? Through emotional, simultaneous, it's paradox, detachment, but compassion, right? This compassion, this fullness of wonder, right? That's the Sahasrara chakra. Loving kindness to everything, right? Reverence for all. When you lack concern for yourself or others, this Moon in Aquarius kind of shadow, when you're kind of aloof, we want to be detached, but not in an aloof way. Not like, oh, I don't care about the suffering in the world. We want to be like, damn, that really sucks, but this too shall pass. We're going to transform it. We're not trying to avoid things. We're trying to engage them fully as the alchemist, as the starman, as the magician card, right? And in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, you've got the magician with the elements on the table, all 4 elements. So, he really does have all 4 elements. The mind of the sword, the earth of the pentacles, the emotions of the water, and the spirit of the fire. And when we come at life saying we've got everything and more that we need, even in our darkest moments, God is with us, right? Even when Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor, I've got a tie-dye on, the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat or whatever, that story, he spent a whole lot of time with a gift. It didn't go away. It wasn't like it was false, of a dream interpretation and prophecy, essentially. And he had to go through some deep valleys before he could be brought up to exaltation. It's a both and. So before you shoot yourself about having, whatever reasons, or get too cocky about XYZ, know that you're exactly where you need to be. You're in process. That's kind of the nature of being. And your cup is overflowing. And just to keep that kind of attitude going. And notice it's the cup overflowing infinitely out. And when you get into that headspace, the game changes and you win. You win in a way that nobody, no height, no depth, no angels, no demons can separate you from the love of God. There's this, I forget what, 2 Thessalonians or whatever it is some epistle, some letter from Paul, but that's the point. We have something in us that cannot be taken away. Christians think it's the love of God and Jesus. I'm not even going to say that's true or false. But we have consciousness at some level that's infinite. And it's got so many forms, even the most scary forms, right? Like monsters and the darkness in us, South Node Scorpio, the things we're afraid of. All we're really here to do is transform, change. The Book of Changes, the I Ching, which I'll pull a card from in a second. Change is the constant, but it's changed through staples, right? It's changed through fire, earth, air, and water. It's changed through form, which has structure. It mutates, Saturn in Aquarius, and the Moon in Aquarius. Our emotions mutate, but we have to kind of be almost like a scientist who cares about the project, not an aloof scientist. A scientist who wants to be emotionally involved to a point because they care, right? But not so much emotionally involved that they're attached. See, it's kind of a fine line. That would be the South Node of Scorpio. You don't want to be obsessed to be like, I have to have these results, and if I don't, I'm not a winner, and I'm not the right person. That's not a good scientist. That's not a good alchemist. But you don't also want to be like, whatever. I don't give a shit. You won't enter the laboratory of life fully. and engage with the alchemy. So you need to be realizing that your cup is overflowing, 10 of cups, and looking for what makes you feel excited and inspired emotionally, but also at home and at ease and nourished. This is the journey of compassion. We're all walking each other home. Sahasrara chakra. And when we can remember that, we win. So fierceness, right? This does not mean just be, tenacity is a good thing to have. When I'm doing my push-ups or whatever at night, I'm listening to Daft Punk 2007 or Justice and things like that, because I need to kick in that fierceness, that ferocity, in order to engage. Just like in a laboratory, you need the Bunsen burners with the fire. The fire gets it going and bubbling and all the stuff, all the, I don't even know what they're called. I think alembics is the word, but all the little boiling pots and stuff and cauldrons in alchemy and science, those need fire, and it almost looks like a Sahasrara chakra down there. Those need the fire and the spark of our ingenuity to make the bubbles froth, right? Like the ocean froth. So it takes some fierceness of heart. Let us, and with Uranus, basically, I'm gonna check to make sure. I don't think it's exactly conjunct. I don't by any means. Uranus is at 14 degrees Taurus, and Mercury's at 23 degrees Taurus. They were more conjunct before. The conjunction happened last night, actually, because Mercury's moving pretty quick. But we're livening, I think is the word. We're livening and animating reality with our power as creator beings, right? And we have to kind of go through it with a tenacity that allows us to not be, the shadow of Venus, Mars in Pisces, Neptune conjunct Jupiter in Pisces, is that you just want to go along for the ride, which there's a place for that, right? But be too passive and too like, oh, let it. It's tricky because you want to let it be, but you don't want to be a victim to life, even though at some point you pull back and say there's no victims, right? You want to know that you have everything you need emotionally in the world to actually play around with the fabric of reality. But you want to keep a sharper edge on your wand, if you want to put it that way, your magician's wand, in order that you can engage in the experiments that make you emotionally fulfilled instead of feeling like a victim. If you find yourself always in a victim state of consciousness, you've asked for that, but you're asking for that perspective to transcend it. And if you're always like, oh, nothing can touch me, it's like, you think so. Change is the constant. The first shall be last, the last shall be first. I'm quoting the Bible a lot today, or alluding to it. But you asked for that. It's for the transformation of knowing what loss will feel like and stuff. Anyway, fierceness, the Wolverine. Hey, bub. Right? So, Wolverine. Oh, Ruth Ann, this is a general reading. Every day I pull all these cards. So this is like today on Sunday, where I'm in Costa Rica. It's the Sahasrara chakra, right? Focusing on the infinite connectivity of it all. But we, just like in this, these are all individual Om symbols. We're all individual alchemists in the dream of God, if you want to put it that way. So we all have our magician card, individual purposeness, Moon in Aquarius, Sun in Aquarius, individuality within a group context, right? And with the Sun in Taurus, the North Node in Taurus, we can find the things that bring us satiation emotionally, right? It's not bad to like try to create a dream life. I always kind of give my mom shit. I'm like, you and my stepdad want to have a catalog life. It's like, well, that's the dream they're trying to have. I kind of get, in a way, I'm not a hyper materialist, so I kind of scoff at that level, but that's my jadedness, my issues, my pettiness, my South Node in Scorpio personally, kind of coming out and lashing out. So anyway, for everyone, the royal we, it is the fierceness animal today. Number 5, we should develop a sense of healthy fierceness. See, that's the key word, healthy fierceness, right? If you're overly fierce and overly zealous and overly combative, you're going to be like Peter in the Garden of Gethsemane. Man, this is the 4th biblical illusion or Christian illusion. Cutting off the ear needlessly, right, of the guy in the garden. And Jesus is like, whoa, those who live by... Swords aren't bad, but wield it properly, right? Those who live by the sword die by the sword kind of thing. So it's okay to have a magical wand and the fire to use it, the heart and the spirit and the drive to use it. But you want to be coming from a place of contentment and compassion as the fundament, as opposed to 10 of Cups as the clarifier, and not in this... When you see villains in cartoons or movies or whatever, usually they have a hunger for vengeance, a hunger for acquiring more wealth, like greed is good. It's like there's levels that are acceptable, like we all consume, so you can't be a non-consumer. Bacteria is consuming things, and black holes are consuming things. But so as a toroid, there's both elements, right? But you don't want to be so driven like Captain Hook, where it's like, death is the final adventure, and I'm gonna kill all these lost boys. Like, he wasn't happy. He was like, me, should I kill myself? I'm so miserable. He wasn't happy. We need to find the happiness with an edge, right? Be content and then so joyful that we're kind of exploring reality. So I digress. We should develop a sense of healthy fierceness. Right now, do not shy away from things that confront you, but choose carefully how you act, right? So the South Node in Scorpio is ripping off all the stones and hidden things, and we're looking at our demons, essentially. Like, these are inside of us, these leviathans, right? But ultimately, they're our friends, Ten of Cups, and we're here to transmute those things. So it's all good. But we got to be careful how we go about that. You can be fierce, but not angry. And that's really the fine line, right? It's like, have passion, but don't be consumed by it to the point where you're hurting yourself or others. Loyalty is important right now. Mythos. Vidar was a younger son of Odin and the giantess Grior. Vidar's half-brothers were Thor and Loki. His land is described in the Edda as a high place of brushwood and tall grasses, and it is said that his companion animal was the Wolverine, which was fierce, strong, and secretive. Vidar was considered to be a god of silence and was called upon to uphold vows, especially vows of secrecy. He had magical shoes that made him strong and could take him anywhere. Vidar showed his determination and fierceness at the time of Ragnarok, which in their book is the apocalypse, right? The end of the world. Vidar is only one of only a few gods who survived Ragnarok. It had been prophesied that the world would end with wolves eating the sun. The mighty wolf Fenrir had battled Odin, and the Allfather had fallen. Vidar saw his father fall, screamed for vengeance, and set upon the wolf. He took one of his shoes and placed it in the open jaws of Fenrir, keeping the wolf's jaws wide open, and then plunged his sword again and again into the wolf's mouth, eventually killing him. Many of the mythos of the First Nations of the United States also feature the Wolverine, mainly as a trickster figure. The animal. Wolverines live in a remote Arctic forest and mountain environments as isolated from humans as possible. Moon in Aquarius, right? Isolation. I mean, usually you think of Virgo, Hermit card, but also the kind of space cadet, I'm going to do my own thing and I don't want to fuck with you, is Saturn in Aquarius, Moon in Aquarius. They are an elusive creature found in Russia, Canada, the United States, Baltic countries, China, and Mongolia. Female Wolverines have snow dens and give birth to 2 or 3 kits. Their reproductive cycle is such that they can keep in suspended growth fertilized blastocytes if conditions are not supportive. Saturn and Aquarius, they can mutate, they can alchemize to fit the situation, right? In order that they do find emotional fulfillment in their clan, their kits, or whatever, they can basically cause their babies to be suspended in fertilization, which is pretty gnarly. Their natural enemy is the wolf, although they are much smaller than the average wolf. They are fierce hunters and will defend kills against the raiding wolves and bears by relying on their sharp teeth and long claws. As they have large home ranges, they rely on conservation of their habitat. They can range hundreds of kilometers in one season. Wolverines are so secretive that scientists do not presently know how many there may be, but because their habitats are being destroyed or encroached upon and because of global warming pressures, they may be threatened. The magic. Wolverine magic is to be utilized when you need real will and determination, and that is an aspect of the alchemist, right? Determination and will. Using the will, that's kind of the point of the alchemist. The magician uses the elements and his will, his choices to make the dream come true. 10 of Cups. When you are against the odds and you need a bit of healthy fierceness to get things done, call on this animal's energy. Also, if you wish to have an energy witness to keep a vow or secret safely for you, Wolverine would be a great choice. Symbology, in the story we talked about a shoe, long claws, shoe in the mouth of a wolf, tracks in the snow, Wolverine claws, striped back, a man with big shoes with a Wolverine. Status is near threatened, so they're not doing so hot. We could probably be better stewards of the environment or whatever to help them. But the Wolverine is showing us that we have to have some kind of, we move in this world as independent beings, right? And as a Taurus sun, we have values, individual values. They do correspond, Moon and Aquarius, with the collective, but we have dreams and hopes for ourselves. 10 of Cups, like some people want to have, like a wife and kids, or a husband and kids, and a white picket fence and all that stuff. Some people want to find enlightenment. And they're not mutually exclusive. Some people want to be rich. Some people want to be famous. Some people just want to be, all these things are material, I'm kind of saying, except the enlightenment thing, I guess. Everybody's individual trip is going to look a little different. Everybody's alchemy is a little different. But we all are capable of love, and we all have this fierce kind of go-get-em attitude as individuals in the dream. That is okay. It's part of it. We are at one with everything, but we all are also dynamic little bits, like little, binary little bits of the matrix. So the matrix is made up of ones and zeros, but each 1 and 0 has particular qualities, you could say. So, and, like particles have spin and all this kind of stuff, and yet it's all one quantum big old thing. So let's go ahead and get an I Ching hexagram and see what wants to pop there. I listened to Bella Fleck and the Flecktones, their first album, I think, and Yes's Fragile on Mushrooms yesterday. And if you guys don't know those albums, check them out. We got number 21 on the hexagram front. This looks like some Sun and Taurus, right? North Node and Taurus, the physical world, but then Uranus and Taurus, the chaos of the alchemy that is life. So 21 is struggling on page 42. Struggling. You are severely hindered by an outside obstacle or as a result of a destructive person. Very south-noded Scorpio kind of dealings. It's like someone's holding you back. Don't believe that problems will merely disappear of their own accord, right? We have to have some tenacity, some fierceness. The Leviathan has to go searching for his meal. It's not just going to come to him and fill his belly with, osmotically through osmosis. He has to actually go out there and do it to find that satiation 10 of cups. We have to get into the laboratory and make the experiments to find the results as the alchemist. Don't believe the problems will merely disappear of their own accord. That's the kind of illusion, delusion, hopeful naivete, spiritual kind of detachment of Jupiter, Neptune, and Pisces, Venus and Mars in Pisces. Instead, try to find out who or what is causing the disruption. As soon as it is found, you have to alleviate it uncompromisingly and resolutely before lasting damage occurs. Give justice a helping hand on the road to success, and don't be unwilling to point out someone's limitations. Misunderstandings and confusion pose a threat in the present situation. Clear guidelines must therefore be drawn and reasonable arrangements made, right? Mercury and Taurus, like make your yes, yes, and a no, no, and try to figure it out in a practical and grounded way. Only then can the way be fundamentally cleared of difficulties. Put yourself under the microscope. Like I keep on talking about alembics and scientists and alchemists. The microscope of what? The microscope. Like when you get into the cellular level of reality, we're all Om symbols, we're all little Buddhas, and then we have a Buddhic field, a net of Indra, this quantum kind of thing we're all a part of. Both and. So put yourself under the microscope. Inhibitions and fears are obstacles. That's South Node Scorpio. Let's tackle it and move forward towards the North Node and Taurus, which you yourself, as an alchemist, as an individual, must fiercely, right? Wolverine, you yourself, with the will of yourself, must fiercely overcome, or must overcome, it says, in order to make progress, right? And the progress is there, 10 of Cups. We can get everything we want and more, everything we've ever dreamed of. But we have to be the ones enacting the magic and participating with the magic of others, and doing it in a way that is engaging and not passive, right? This guy isn't just in there hoping to find results in the laboratory. He's saying, I'm going to chant this chakra tone and think of these colors, and then I'm going to do, fast, intermittently fast, or whatever, right? He's taking the aggressive stance on his journey. Sometimes there's a passive stance, but in order to get what your heart really desires, you gotta root out the weeds. In some cosmic sense, there are no weeds. We're all one Om, sure. But, and that's some real Jedi shit. If you could sit there with Attila the Hun cutting off your head saying, I love you, that's Jesus Christ, I love my enemies stuffs. And that's some woke ass shit, if you could do that. Not everybody's there. That's the city, right? It's like the shadow of the gift of the city. It's like not everyone's at the citic level. Most of us are trying to get to the gift out of the shadow. So the real thing is knowing that you have power and that others do too, and knowing to appreciate them and love them as much as you love yourself and all that kind of stuff. So, last card is the stone of the day, the crystal, and you can quantumly entangle this, especially with Moon in Aquarius. You are entangled with everything that is. Even science is saying this, right? So this is not mystical woo-woo. This is just the way it is, right? That's just the way it is. Ametrine. What it is, a balanced blend of amethyst and citrine. Ametrine. This oh-so ombre stone is heady purple and fiery gold in one powerful package. Its energy is ideal for sifting through mental chatter to unearth pure inspiration. It says inspo. And act on it, right? So with the Mercury in Taurus, North Node in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, we want to sift through reality with a tenacity, with a fierceness about ourselves, and basically find the experiments that mean the most to us in order to succeed emotionally and feel fulfilled. But that means knowing where you're making mistakes, knowing what's thwarting your progress, kind of taking notes, paying attention, right? And then moving forward with action and not just idealism. Who needs it? The chronically indecisive Libras. Where to put it? Wherever you do your best thinking, i.e. the office or the bathtub. When to use it? If a deadline is on the horizon and you need a big idea. If you can't decide on something, swipe left or swipe right. Or what am I going to do with my future is where I'm at kind of now. Call on Ametrine and remember, either way, everything is going to be amazing. Make your big dreams your big life, right? Either way, you're an alchemist. Either way, it's all good. But in the dream, there are obstacles and there's static, and you've got to kind of, learn how to deal with that. And there's different ways of dealing with that static. The shadow level of dealing with static, the gift level of dealing with static, the city level of dealing with static is like acceptance, the highest level. Because we all are all one at some spiritual level. That's not untrue, but as individuals, we have a responsibility to ourselves and others to pursue our dreams, make our dreams happen, right? Make your big dreams, 10 of Cups, come true as an individual with tenacity and uprooting kind of the failure, uprooting the distortions, so you, which have their place, but ultimately that we're here to transmute. I mean, that's really what the whole point of the dream is, transmutation. So take your fierceness, transmute life with a joy, not with an anger, and try to get your T's crossed, I's dotted. Keep it, don't spill your ink in your ledger, kind of thing. And Ametrine is saying, make your big dreams your big life. Make yourself your life. Make your dreams, you are a dream. You are row your boat gently down the stream. Life is but a dream, right? You are a dream. You're a dream of God, and then you have your own individual dreams, and maybe they're God's if you want to put it that way, to come to be actualized through you individually. So know that you, in a sense, your cup is overflowing always, even when you're down and out, and to seize the day fiercely, right? Make your big dreams your big life. Try to deal with the idea that's coming to mind is like when you're making your bed, if you do this, and the sheet kind of keeps coming off one side, it's like, that's frustrating, but it's causing you to understand how to make a bed better or whatever, right? So know that it's all good, but we do have bed making to do, and that also is all good. So holler for readings if you would like. Leave a tip, obviously, if you've enjoyed this. Tag, like, subscribe, share, whatever. Tag people if you think they'd benefit from this reading. Hopefully you have. It helps me kind of get an idea for the day's energy. That's why I do it. And then obviously 11th house sun and moon, I do it for me and you. Very Aquarius moon, Saturn and Aquarius stuffs. $33 for an hour of cards for yourself. $88 for 3 hours of astrology for yourself. And $111 for both if you feel so inclined to get guided by me. I don't tell you anything you don't already know. I usually just help people realize it for themselves, right? You are the alchemist. So sometimes people don't realize they have water or fire, or they're not standing upright or whatever, and I can help you kind of see that. Check out the TEAMrabbithole podcast. We've got, it's kind of like the Saz Rara Checker. We've got 300 episodes almost. It's like every episode is individual, but they all create TEAMrabbithole podcast. So check it out, and I hope you enjoy your Sunday. Feel empowered, We just had Mercury conjunct Uranus yesterday, basically within the past 12 hours. So we have the ability to dream big and to revolutionize our life in a grounded, practical way, and in a beautifying way, in a way that brings value. And hopefully you know how you bring value. Hopefully you know how you're sabotaging yourself or others are sabotaging you, and how to transmute that through love and compassion and joy. Doesn't mean you sit there idly and just let, let it happen. But yeah, you kind of hear what I'm saying. Enjoy your Sunday, and I will catch y'all on the flip side. Adios. Bye.